Hola and amigos, and welcome to Keyframers, the animated collaborative coding livestream where we bring imaginative user interfaces to life. I'm your host, Stephen Shaw.
And I'm your host, David Khourshid.
Together we are coding compadres, animation amigos, Boolean buddies, and keyframe companions.
Yeah, so today we are going to be creating a tic-tac-toe game, which includes animations and stuff like that. And we're going to be doing it from scratch live today using JSX, CSS, and a lot of JavaScript. But you'll see why in a minute. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. So as always, please reach out in the chat or the comments.
That's right. Yeah, it should be a fun one today. I've got kind of the inspiration we're using here. It's not going to be exactly this 3D per se. We're planning to use CSS for a lot of animations and all this, but we just kind of like the 3D aspect of it, and it's tic-tac-toe. Everybody knows how to play tic-tac-toe. If you don't, we'll include a link to Wikipedia in the
I don't think it even has a Wikipedia article, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does. The only thing that confuses me about the game is, what does the tick, the tack, and the toe stand for?
See, I think the X is the tic-tac, and then the O is the toe. Like a tic-tac.
Your guess is as good as mine, and that's probably a better guess than I would have guessed.
Yeah, so. That's probably so. But yeah, anyway, we like this this animation by Balaji, I believe. It's got some cool elements to it. So we're going to actually be building this using state machines. We're going to be using React and XState. It's going to be a nice overview kind of state machines and like how to integrate those in your app and like follow the logic and get all that integrated. So definitely gonna want to check that out. David's deleting a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, I was just testing out a few things. So by the way, if you know XState, then you might know that with React, you would use both the XState package and the XState React package. Because of how Snowpack works with peer dependencies, or rather I should say doesn't work, we're just going to be using XState. But this is actually a good thing, or a silver lining, if you could consider it that, because we're going to be showing how flexible XState is with basically any state management library that you want to use alongside it. Of course, XState is its own state management library, but we're going to be using it with useReducer, which is a built-in React hook today, because Skypack is misbehaving.
Yeah, the XState React package is just kind of some helpers to get like state machines integrated in kind of a hook environment. So we're gonna step back a little bit and show how to use useReducer to accomplish a similar thing. So yeah, let me know in the chat if my text size is okay. Okay. Let's bump it up a little bit more. Hey, Daily Meow. Nice to have you here. All right, so we did just kind of some base setup here. We've got React included. We're rendering a simple app with React DOM. We've got XState where we're including create machine. Otherwise, some really basic styles, and that's about it. So that's. Yeah, that's where we're at. So where would you like to start, David?
Well, let's get some visuals on board. Let's try to make a game interface thing. And so the first thing that comes to my mind is grid. Before we would have used, I don't know, tables or something, but now we can make our tic-tac-toe grids with grid and CSS grid, that is. And yeah, it's pretty natural that way.
All right, so I'm going to do game board as kind of our main deal there.
Help out with that. So, yep, we're going to have a game board, and so that's going to be our 3x3 thing. And I'm actually, all right, so I wish that JavaScript had this built in, but I'm going to make a range function that I like using, and just return array and minus start dot fill null dot map doesn't matter I plus start. Now the reason I have end and starts, I you know what, this is over engineering. But the reason I did that is because you could say I want to range from like 3 to 12 or something like that. But in this case, yeah, we don't, need that. Actually, yeah,
just leave it in if you've got it referenced there.
Yes, I do have a reference, so that's why I was just copying it over, because check it out. Now we could do range 09, so that's why I have that range there, dot map, and we get the index. And so let's call this div class name equals, what do we want to call it, tile?
Sure. Yeah, tile's a good
tile.
name for it.
We need a key because React will freak out if you don't add that. On click equals, we're just going to console.log clicked the index. So, and I forgot Shaw's prettier trick, so I just going to format that. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, just as long as we're not working on it at the same time.
Yeah,
it'll be fine. Okay, so we've got our tiles. All right, so let's get those kind of displayed in the grid so we can see our tic-tac setup. So we'll say tile, and let's just give them a border. So I'll let them white, and we've got a basic board. Now there's a couple ways we could kind of handle the lines, because like the lines in our example animation, they don't encompass like the outside, and that's kind of something that's always difficult to do with like setting up borders. There's a few ways you can do it actually with like nth child. You can say like nth child 3n plus what is it? I think it's 3n plus 1. Yeah. And we can say like border left none, and this is going to do every third child will not have the left border, starting at 1, and so we can do that. But with the way like this 3D kind of border is set up, like I think we're probably going to want some like extra shading and things like that. That border itself is not going to allow us to do. So we can do some extra elements in there to make actually those kind of hash marks rather than relying on border. So I'll set that up. If you have anything else to do, let's see. Range, we'll do that. 0.4, I guess it is.
See, it's so useful.
It right? is. I do often run into that, especially like when setting up React components or like trying to debug something. Just being able to loop through them quickly is very helpful.
So Bastion in the chat says, "Hi all, I'll be impressed if you manage to finish game and design within 1 hour." So we have 41 minutes. Let's do this. I like those odds. I like a challenge. So you know what? That means I have to really get started on this state machine here. So I will go ahead and do that. And trust me, it's not going to be nearly as scary as you might think. So const, I'm going to call it game machine equals create machine and initial playing. So basically, if we think about this as a state machine, and when you're modeling things in state machines, just start very basic. Don't try to over-engineer everything at the beginning. So right now, I'm having one state, which is playing, which means as you open the game, you are immediately in playing mode. You could start pressing X's and O's, but there's also going to be a winner state because eventually someone can win. Or there's a draw state because, both players might fill the board with their X's and O's and none of them gets a row, column, or diagonal, so you've drawn. So I'm going to have 3 states: playing, winner, and draw. And so let's, I'm going to get this in the app too. I'm going to format. So whenever I see Shaw in the CSS, I'm just going to quickly format the JavaScript, just clean things up a little bit.
That's totally fine. I'm gonna mess around with our grid template, do some formatting of that. I always forget the syntax for doing like named templates. Grid template, template, template. There we go. And set that up. To load. That's cool.
Probably because I'm messing things up.
No, it's not you. I'm unable to load my documentation. So we are
Error expected as expression.
Yeah, should fix it for you. Oh, you're logging out the machine.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Nice.
Hold on, I did things the wrong. Actually, did I? Row. I definitely did main flex direction row. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So now things are side by side, and let me just add a gap there because that is something that we could do. Just like 2 rems or something like that. Cool. All right, so at the right is going to be the states that XState gives you. It gives you a bunch of information. You don't need everything in there, but the value, that is the value of the finite state. So right now it says we're in the playing states. The other important thing we're going to be using is context, which isn't in here because it's undefined, because we didn't add anything in context yet, but all of the other stuff you could just ignore. So in fact, I'll just like... yeah, I'll do that. You know what? I'll make a definition list. I haven't done it in a while.
For laying out the data.
Yeah. Yeah. See. Should see it here. Hopefully the styling is fine. Wow.
Yeah, DLs and DDs have some interesting default styles.
All right, back to JSON. Yeah. I'm going to spend all the 40 minutes just doing this. Which, yeah, there we go. Okay, so I only want to show the value, and yeah, there you go. Let's add a few buttons just so we could you know, play around with this a little bit more. Okay, so button on click equals, we're going to yeah, I'm just going to make an X wins button just so that you could see. This is like State Machines 101. So an event causes a state transition. So the X wins button will send, let's call it win, you know, or this is just a dummy event. So on winner. All right, so if you want to, you could click that X wins button and see the state change. Whee. So nice. Yeah.
Very cool.
And then I'm also going to add a root transition because we want to be able to reset the game. So just going to add that button real quick. And right now the behavior is you could reset at any time, and I'll show how to like prevent that from happening, because it's like if you know you're losing, you're going to just flip the board over and be like, you know what, no, let's start over. So we don't want players to do that. So you could click X wins, it goes to winner, then you click reset and it goes back to playing. Pretty straightforward stuff, right? All right, so now that's out of the way, I'm going to just get right into the game mechanics here. Which, yeah, that's going to take up a lot of time. Or yeah. Actually, maybe not. We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see. What am I doing wrong with my grid template here? Let's see.
let's check it out. So wow.
Let's see. So it might
this
be.
is quite interesting.
Yeah, I might just need to do a different setup because that does not seem to want to work. Yeah.
Well, I honestly don't know the grid template shorthand.
Yeah.
I know grid template areas. Like that's I like being explicit about it just because the other stuff confuses me to no end. So all right, so I'm thinking about context. All right, so I'm just going to be thinking through this out loud. So we have a board that we need to represent, and that's just going to be an array of 9 things, and we'll fill those with null, indicating that no player has played on any of those squares. And actually, let me go ahead and I'm going to JSON stringify the context as well. So context, state.context. All right, so we have our board and we have our player. And just for now, just because I don't want to get into advanced XState, I'm going to put the player in the context as well. So it always starts with X, which means if you play perfectly, by the way, didn't know if it's common knowledge or not, but X can either always win or always draw if you play perfectly in Tic-Tac-Toe.
That's good.
So, yeah. And then winner. So those are the 3 basic bits of data that we need: is the board, keeping track of the position of each of the players, the current player, and the winner, which in this case is undefined. So actually I'll put that as null just so you could see it there. Okay, cool.
Got it.
No worries. So target, playing, actions, we're going to update the board. So I'm going to grab sign from here so we could update the board. And we are going to assign, let's see, board. Let's see, board equals board.
There we go.
Board.
Our beautiful board.
Context that player, return dated board. Okay, so our play event is going to just be an object with type of play and a player, and that's going to be X or O. So, you know what? I'm gonna straight up add events to here just so that we could see this working and so that you could actually style it as well. Like when, how do you want to handle, do you want to do like a data player equals X, data player equals O, and just handle it that way through the CSS?
Yeah.
That seems simplest, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we shall do that.
Given up styles there.
Oh.
Our X wins and reset buttons are no longer working.
That's okay. That's because I changed the stuff.
Right.
So, all right. When we click, we're going to send type play. This is almost working. I just want to display it on the board just to make sure that it works. So we're going to say state.context.board index. And so right now, each one of those squares should display null, hopefully.
Well, the clicking is working for me.
Oh, but the player doesn't change.
No, player's not alternating. So we'll need to do that.
It's not a bug. I just forgot to. So I'm also going to do player context. If context.player is X, then O, otherwise X. Okay, so now that should work. XO, XO, XO.
Nice.
Cool. Okay. Now we just have to do the hard part, which is the game-winning logic.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think that is probably going to be our difficulty.
Nah, I'll figure it out. It's tic-tac-toe. How hard could it be? So, we'll just get the board. So, oh, you know what? I'm gonna do const winning lines equals. Now, from what I've seen before, people have done these in all sorts of fancy ways. I'm going to do it in the most mundane, boring way possible, which is I'm going to just record every single line, like row, column, diagonal that is a winning row, because I don't want to do it the clever way. I just want to. So I'm going to say like 0, 1, 2 is winning, 3, 4, 5 is winning, 6, 7, 8 is winning. Having a number pad is actually really useful for this, by the way. Actually, no, it's not, because it starts at 1. So sorry, gave up on that idea real quick. 0, 3, 6, 1, 4, 7, 1, 4, not 47, 2, 5, 8, 0, 4, 8, the two diagonals, and 2, 4, 6. Oh, that's easy to remember. Okay, so those are our winning lines. All the columns are, that's
David
what
has committed those to memory. And...
Yeah. So for that line of winning lines, so X1, if every line is an X, or like if one of the lines is X, so return board index equals X if X1 return true. Then I could just copy paste that. Again, this is probably not the best way to do the logic, but O1 is, so I'm basically brute forcing it, or not brute forcing, just checking every single line and seeing, did X win? Did O win? Okay, otherwise return false. So that's our game logic.
So check win, but we're just returning true. Should we be returning the player that won?
No. And so here's the reason why. And this is what I'm going to do in the state machine. The current player is kept in context. So if the player makes a play, then we are going to just assume that the last player who made the play wins. So, yeah.
Sure.
Again, probably not the best way of doing it, but it's one of the ways of doing it that I could think off the top of my head.
Well, if you're returning false, if there's no winner, then check win can just return like who's the winner. Because it'll still be a truthy statement.
Yeah, that's true. Okay. So let's see, on playing, and then we're going to have, and this is sort of nuanced XState stuff. Actually, it's, I don't know, I don't want to say it's advanced XState, it's just intermediate, but it's basically, you could have always transitions, which basically, it's like a game loop. You know how in a game loop, you're checking a condition every time?
Right.
And so once that condition is true, then you're going to go somewhere. So I could say here, for example, target winner, and it's on the condition that context check win context.board gives something. So let's try that. So X. All right, just kidding. It's
did not me.
Let's see, for that line of waiting lines, just making sure my logic is correct. Oh, wait, no.
Matt Pocock says, get that always out of the on.
All right, thanks. He has saved the day.
Thank you, Matt.
Really glad that you're watching, Matt.
I'm gonna format the code really quick. Oh, you already got it. That's great. Okay.
Okay, so now let's try. Yeah, see, when you go to winner, notice how you cannot make any more plays. So yeah.
Right. I can see the value there is set to winner, so that's good.
Yeah. And so now, using that exact same logic, we could set the winner. So we have target, winner, condition, and so we're going to say actions assign. We're going to assign the winner, and that's going to be the same. Oh, sorry. Context check win of context.board.
And in our app, the state.value is the current state. Is that correct?
Wait, it says expected corresponding. We have a JSX error here.
Yeah, I removed. Oh, let's see if that gets it. All right, I don't know what I broke, but sure. There we go. Got it.
Okay, cool. So now, yeah, it gives the winner. Cool. And then reset does nothing. So
yeah, so would you do that in the on reset bit?
To set everything back to the initial.
Yeah.
Yeah. So const initial context. I'm just going to move that out to here, and we're going to say context initial context. Initial is such a hard thing to type. So instead of just going to playing, we could target playing, which that's basically the same thing as we just had, but we could also do an assign action. So we could just assign the initial context, basically saying make everything the way that it was. So now when we play, whenever you press reset, it's going to change everything back to the way it was.
Awesome.
So yeah, our game logic is, I forgot checking for a draw. That's the last thing we have to do. But
oh dear.
Yeah, so I'll get to work on that. I'm gonna have to dot our I's, cross our T's, and draw our X's and O's.
Well, all right. While you get started on that, I'll start getting the 3D aspect integrated here. So let's see, game board. Okay, you have that off to the side, so that should be fine. We might cover up some of the state there. Transform, rotate X, 45 degrees. We're gonna go isometric here.
Oh, nice.
We want
isometric,
and then X 45 and rotate Z negative 45 degrees. That should give us nice little isometric board there. Cool. And all our click events still work. It's beautiful. All right, let's bump this up font size like 15, so we can get nice and nice big play pieces there. Line height 1. Maybe bump it down just a little bit.
Can I still click stuff? Whoa, yes, I can.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really cool.
By the way, the draw stuff works. So I just add some logic for drawing. And the logic is really simple. Basically, if 9 moves were made, it's a draw. If no one won yet. So it's going to check, did someone win yet? If not, it's going to check, did someone draw? And yeah, that's all I'm doing was adding moves to the context. So we're counting the number of moves, and that's it. So when you press reset, that all goes to 0.
Yeah, you could probably just check if there's no null values in the board.
Yeah, you could do that too. So we could easily just say context. So context.board.every item is null. Or wait,
just item will probably work.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? Let's try that, because yeah, null is. I always accidentally end up winning.
I know. I just did the same thing. Accidental wins.
Yeah. Well, what's a good way to not accidentally win?
You can do every other except for the last line, then start in the middle.
Okay, so the draw logic still works.
Does it? Because I got to winner state rather than draw state.
Try
I accidentally won again. Dang it. Our logic is sound.
It's not a bug. It's
my mental logic is not. All
right. But there is a problem, and by problem I don't mean bug or anything. I mean the fact that remember the table flip thing that I was talking about earlier. You know, when you get so upset that Shaw has the lead or something, and I just want to reset the game, I could just click reset at any time. And so to solve that, when I'm in the playing state, I could also add a reset event, and this is going to override the quote unquote global one. So I'm just going to make it undefined and be like, you can't do anything on reset, basically. So once you're playing, can't reset.
Right. So we have a global on reset event, but we are overriding that in one specific state to just be inactive, essentially.
Right.
Okay, nice. Hey, yep, that works. That's cool. Very cool. Right. So in the chat, Simon is asking, why not return the winning line instead of the player? Will you draw the winning line? It might be a little tough with the the angled win conditions. We'd need some interesting logic there for completing the line.
Actually, yeah, you're right. Just kidding. Wait, no. That might be doable.
Yeah, it's definitely doable.
Maybe not in the time.
We're just gonna have to see.
Technically, we did finish the challenge of having all the game logic within the hour.
That was basically just a few minutes, maybe 30 minutes total. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. All right, so you've got data line. Oh, that's mine. So let's say data.
Daily Meow says it's a nice idea for two to code together. It's more enjoyable. I would say so too. Yeah. It's great because I could make an error somewhere and Shaw just gets so frustrated that he finds it and fixes it. So I don't have to worry about it.
It's helpful sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go ahead and format JavaScript. Make sure we're all nice and clean here. So yeah, I added a data play. Let's see. Data player. Would that be a better for like the move itself?
Let's do data player, and then you could get that player in state.context. Well, player.
Well, I'm adding it to the actual move itself, so we can
okay.
style
Yeah.
X's and O's. So like for tile, if we say data player equals,
you have that play, or do you have that player?
I corrected it. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I'm watching the YouTube stream at the same time. It's lagging.
Yeah, it's a couple seconds behind. Yeah. So now we have some just different coloring of them, so that's great. Now we could show the active player in a way. We could do a whole lot more. Let's see. Let's say.
I really like those lines. Those are good lines.
Yeah, they need a little bit of love, but they're doing okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's the inset look that we're wanting, and then we can add a bit more padding to it. Let's. Gives us a little more room. It is really hard to get to a draw state, but
yeah,
it's fun. Okay. Let's see. So, should we add some animation?
We should. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's what they hire us for.
All right. So let's animate the moves. I think that's going to be the highest impact thing to do. So we can say before and after content attribute data player. Let's go ahead and make these position absolute. And then gives us some elements there. So we're going to use pseudo elements to animate kind of these play pieces coming in. If we click one, should work. So we'll do. Let's see. Set these as percent. And see. We'll want data player, say top 0, left 0, that going. And then they should just all overlap, kind of. Let's see. We'll give those a display grid as well so that the content's centered inside of it. Yep, works. So now we have these overlapping elements here. We'll say, and before, we'll say color transparent, and we'll give it a text shadow. So something like text shadow 0.0 0.1 M. And then we'll say that background shadow color. That should give us a nice shadow around the letter. No, it's about something. Did you change?
Probably me.
You're changing some CSS there. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay, you're adding a simple animation to it. I was going to animate the pseudo elements themselves. So let's do data played. Before and then after.
Yeah, so just whenever a play happens, the board sort of depresses, or at least it should.
You're adding that to the tile itself. You probably need to move that up a level.
Oh, that would make sense.
Go. Okay, so we've got our after.
Still doesn't work. But...
So after.
Oh, because I need to actually add. Working. No, well,
okay. So let's say
my board isn't bouncing.
Animation. animation duration. Just like 6 seconds. Animation timing function. Bezier, give it 5. Just to start out, and then for the, let's animate the after. That'll be nice. Animation name.
I realized something I forgot to do. Very small, but this is why, you know, we check things. And actually, the same machine made it blindingly clear that I forgot to do it. I'm not checking that it's a valid move, so you could easily override a player's. Oops. Okay,
yeah, that's helpful.
I will. Yeah. So let me just add that real quick. So,
yeah, that's kind of important.
Yeah. Let's see.
Let's say D.
All right, so now you can no longer overwrite people's moves.
Nice.
Oops. Yeah. All right, well, here we go. And even forgetting that, like, we were still under 1 hour for the game logic, so yeah.
Win. Let's see, tile. Is my animation not working? Is it because it's playing regardless of that? We'll say there.
See, I'm wondering the same thing too. I have a use effect, which is setting an animation.
So the data played bit, you're applying that? Where are you applying that? Are you doing anything with that yet?
Yeah, it should be on the what's this? The tile.
I don't.
Is it in the tile? Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So that should be on the game board. Okay, cool. Although hopefully that doesn't mess with the transform that's already there. Oh no, it's not working either. That's okay.
Are you actually applying that anywhere though? Because I don't see that in the JSX. Like you're not setting that anywhere. Oh, you're doing it via the ref. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but it's not working. So that's okay.
Yeah. Okay. So that's working.
It's not working. Install ref. Let's see. And yeah, the ref definitely exists. So, Okay,
there we go. Got a little bit of activity there. Let's make sure that tile is inheriting. Okay, just a little bit happening there.
Just remove that. Yeah, let me help you out with the animation stuff.
I'm just making
stringy.
Sure. Right, we've got it kind of entering. I was working on getting it to like float down. I'm just checking my 3D transforms because I think missing like a transform style preserve 3D. Yeah, there we go. Oh, causes some fun clipping issues. Are you seeing that?
No.
Huh.
No. Looks fine.
Just the exact screen size or my GPU just flipping out. That's fun. Let's see. Oh, keep accidentally winning. Just trying to test animations out, David. Come on.
I know.
So what I'm doing is I'm applying the animation with that data player attribute, because that should be null if the square is empty. So whenever that gets applied, then it's going to actually render the animation. Yeah, and so I've got the shadow kind of coming in as well. You know, plenty of fun ways to continue improving that, but you know, that's pretty nice. We can also give the tile itself just a little bit of an offset, so that it kind of sits above the shadow. But man, my GPU is not liking the
3D-ness.
The 3D-ness, yeah. So let's see if we can just translate the fix. See if that helps our lines be considered part of the. Yeah, we just had to tell the GPU, hey, we're doing stuff. Leave that there. So you still have data played on the tile in the tile CSS. That's part of.
Oh no, let's kill that.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? That probably was the entire problem all along, but that's okay. I have moved past that. I am no longer attached to the silly animation that I wanted to do.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Now you're trying to do winning line.
Yeah, which actually wasn't as hard, or it just colors everything.
Hey. Yeah.
But no, that's not a logic problem. That is the classic mistake of thinking that a falsy data attribute will not show that data attribute, but it actually does with the string false. But hey, it works. It absolutely works. Except it shifts a little. So.
Hey, nice. Yeah, it does shift. I think that's just the data over there in the pre. If we do that as position absolute, then that should work. Okay. Yeah, that's cool. So I also applied a data state to the board itself.
I see that.
So we can say like data state equals draw. Is that the right name for it?
Yeah.
We can say like line.
But you're doing this in game board. You apply the data states to the main.
Oh, to main there.
Yeah, I'll put it on the game board.
Yeah.
So you don't have to change the thing.
That makes good sense. We'll say line red. If it ends in a draw.
Hey, that pen saved notification thing is new.
It is. Thank you for noticing.
It's nice. I dig it.
Is it win or winner? Winner.
No, I think the notification thing's a total winner. I think, yeah. Good job there.
Thank you. So, okay, so nice. Now, if you draw, the lines turn red. Nobody wins. If you do win, let's see. Okay, we got green. That's whatever. We can play with those, but we've got some nice indications there. Let's say transition, background, color, like 0.seconds linear. That should give a nice effect. Yeah, there we go. That's cool. Okay. I mean, we can certainly add more to it. Ideally, we can show the current player in some capacity. We can add more elements to it. Is there anything you would like to do before we wrap up? It's been maybe 10 more minutes.
Yeah, so for the winning lines, like instead of having that ugly green, let's do it so that so that like it changes, or not changes color, I guess scales up or something, and the others fade out. Well, whatever you think would work for like
okay. Okay.
let's show the winning line in a more clear way.
Yeah, okay. I like that. All right, so if we're on data state winner, we can say tile opacity like 0.5 something. Tile data, what is it? Data winning?
Yeah, so like the winning tiles.
Yeah.
And that is a terribly ugly green, and I'm sorry about that.
No.
So let me go ahead and find a better one.
Yeah, you can knock that out. We'll leave that off for now, and then we'll just use the opacity here. Oh, that didn't do it. What is it? Data player winning, right? It should be data winning on the tile, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Data winning tile. Yet it is not. Data win. Ooh. So weird. Data state equals winner. Because that all should be nice. Very neon. Yeah,
I'm actually taking the colors from some of his other dribbles.
Nice.
So.
Okay, I'm gonna inspect the DOM real quick. Please don't. Okay, data winning.
Oh, sorry.
True.
Hands
off.
off.
No. You're good. You're good now. Okay, so why is that not applying? That's higher specificity. Typo title. Gosh. Thank you, Bastian, in the chat. Typo. It was tight instead of tile.
It's pretty tight.
Pretty tight. There we go. All right. So yeah, that works. We can say we can even do stuff like cursor pointer on the tiles, but whenever well, only on data state playing, right? We only want that when you can make a play. So we'll say.
Oh yeah, do you want to hover? Like when you hover, just like show an indication that you could actually play on the tiles?
Right. So we can.
I can do that unless you're doing that right now.
Down in around line 137, I'm doing that. So tile will say cursor pointer. Say tile
maybe
not data layer.
Yeah, nice. So we could
So yeah, now it only shows the cursor on tiles that are available. Yeah, add that on hover.
Right. And focus accessibility.
Yeah, I don't think we're looking at that necessarily, but great. So let's add a transition on tile to do transition. Let's do just 3 seconds linear, and we'll say transition property, do opacity and background color. That should give a nice subtle effect. Beautiful.
I dig it. It's a bit slow, but I dig it.
See,
that's one of those. Yeah, that's one of those animations where some, maybe 5 seconds just to, yeah, that feels more, less sluggish.
All right, I'm fine with it. Let's make him zoom in from even higher. Drop in. Yeah, that feels so nice. Very cool. Well, yeah, that's a pretty nice setup there.
Let me delete my pre and
just comment it out at least.
Okay.
So
yeah,
users
it's
can see it if they want.
True.
There you go. Right, and let me add a text align center to just get our.
I got you. Center tag is not deprecated yet.
Oh no.
Or actually, it is deprecated, but it's still there.
It's still supported.
We're gonna
Deprecated, but still supported. That's just beautiful. That's really nice right there. So I think David is experimenting with other deprecated tags. Oh boy. You know,
it makes you miss the old days, doesn't it?
I miss them so much. I'd give away grid in a second to have marquee and center back.
Oh, but I killed the reset button. Hold on.
Oh yeah.
That's
Well,
okay,
you could just make it. You could just make it so any click on the board sends reset.
Or, and this is something that I've been dreaming of doing, like in I think one of our last streams, where just like after a second or after 2 seconds, it resets automatically.
Yeah, there you go.
So, you know what? I'm gonna do that. So after 2 seconds, I'm going to. Oh, this is another cool thing with state machines. You could send itself events. Like try doing that with Redux or whatever, but you could you could tell your machine to send itself an event. So I'm just going to send myself a reset event. I have to get that send from XState, but that should work. So, all right, now just play real quick, and nothing happens.
Got nothing.
Let me see why that's or we could just do, you know, have a reset button or something like that. Although I'm not sure why. Oh, you know why? Because we're using reducer. And so we don't get any of those extras of XState, like having an after. Darn it. Okay. So yeah, you know what? We'll just do whenever you click something.
Yeah, on click game board, send reset.
Okay. Yeah. Let's do that. Do you want to make it?
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Well, what's even going to be called?
Reset.
Okay. Cool. So
yeah. So that should work. Yeah, that should work anywhere. Because of the global one you did.
Oh wait, yeah, we already have that. I don't know why I'm adding extra transitions for those, but yeah, okay.
It did not work. Let's see.
Try again. Oh, it just resets immediately. That's funny.
Oh.
Wait, does it?
Yeah. It's like it instantly goes into that state and is registering that event.
All right, no worries. I got backup plan. So on play, so if someone tries to play again, then we actions send resets, and so we could do that. So all right, let's try that again. So it's going to go to winner. Did something break?
Play.
I don't see the screen, so
it's still showing up
for
me. One click, send play.
But now you can't really click anything else. So
yeah, it's not. Can play action. Is that right? Because you're still doing send. Shouldn't it be click actions like target or click on play target reset?
No, so it's gonna. Oh wait, you're right. So
it's still the same problem because we're using use reducer that send event.
Okay, yeah. You know what? I'm just going to. I mean, this would be easier if we had a reset button sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just do a reset button.
It's fine.
At the bottom.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that would have saved us 5 minutes. Just copy paste. And it's more obvious to the user too.
Yeah.
So it's actually all right. So we'll just have that. Oh, you know what? We should probably copy this whole thing so that we don't show the. Okay, cool. Now we have a very ugly reset button, but that's easily fixed too. But yeah, I think you know, I think we're just about done.
Yeah, this will be fun to summarize. I'm interested in hearing the hearing the state machine breakdown.
I don't know how we want to style this button. Well, yeah, just however. Oh, it's huge.
Oh, it is. Yeah, like
that's my fault.
And then we'll say give it a little bit of a border. I can actually do that on this too. Make the lines a little rounded.
Nice. So I'm putting the reset button at the top instead, but it's
Are you trying to get it to stop making things bounce?
Yeah.
Position. Absolute.
That works.
There we go.
Yeah, muscle memory over there.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Oh wow. Sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's move it out there.
Okay. Where did you put it in the header?
Sorry, we're just moving it around. See, this is what happens when we don't have a design to work from. We just start putting buttons wherever we feel.
Yeah.
All right, now the button's hidden.
Yeah, it needs a Z index, I guess. X.
There we go. All right.
Sure.
Fine.
Sure.
Yeah, backgrounds, maybe make it white and good to go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah. Let's
yeah, we can wrap this one up. So let's say what did you do?
I just made around. That's all.
Okay. Geez. Okay. So let's figure out how to summarize this here. So we wanna talk about the state machine, and so let's. Do you wanna talk about the state machine integrating with React?
Yeah, I
first,
can talk about that
and then talk about like. Well, sorry. Talk about the tic-tac-toe logic. Tic-tac-toe state machine, and then we'll say integrating XState with React as the second one, and then the animations and stuff is not really anything we have to go over there. I don't think there's anything too revelatory there.
Right. Yeah.
So we should be good with that. All right. Yeah. Anything else?
No, I think that's it.
Cool. All right. So let's start summarizing there. So if you're watching live, stick with us. We've got some interesting stuff about to happen. We're gonna kind of summarize what we've worked on so far, so it'll be beneficial for you. But yeah, let's get into that. I'm going to add a little marker for myself here so we can edit this out. And here we go. Hola, animigos, and welcome to Keyframers. I'm Stephen Shaw.
And I'm David Khourshid.
Let's take a quick look at a tic-tac-toe state machine.
So yeah, let's talk about the actual state machine first. So we are using a library that I created called XStates to do this, and we're doing this so that we just make our lives a little bit easier in controlling the game logic of tic-tac-toe. And so in this state machine, we have 3 states. We have playing, winner, and draw. And so when you first start this game, we're going to start in the playing states because you're going to, start playing immediately. And so in the playing state, the behavior is that, well, a player could play. And so depending on which player we have, let me actually mention the context as well. This is all the extra data that doesn't neatly fit into one of these states, like just extended states of the machine. So we have the board, which is the position of the players on each square of the board. We have the current player, which is either X or O. Or O. We have the winner, which is the winning player, which, is there was no winner yet. We have the winning line, which was suggested by one of our viewers that we had, and we did it. And we have the number of moves, and we use the number of moves to determine if there was a draw or not. Or actually, I don't think we need that anymore, but whatever, we're keeping it there. So in the playing states, when a play happens, we're going to stay in the playing states, but we're going to change the board. So depending on which tile was clicked, we're going to assign the player to that board, but we're only going to do it if it's a valid move. And it's a valid move if no player has played on that tile yet. We're also going to, we're going to change the player. So if the player is X, now it becomes O. Otherwise, if it's O, it becomes X. And we increment the number of moves, which I said previously, we don't need anymore. And so that's going to continue sort of like a game loop. But also like a game loop, every time we enter the states, we're going to check 2 things. We're going to check, is there a winner? And we know that there is a winner when check win returns something truthy, and I'll go over that in a minute. And so if there is a winner, we are going to go to the winner state, and we are going to assign the winner, which is the winning player, and the winning line, which is that array of 3 values that show which line was the winning line. The second condition we're checking is if there's a draw. And so this was suggested by Stephen. We're going to check, instead of the number of moves, we're going to see if every item on the board has been accounted for. So if every square has been played, essentially. Now, jumping to the check win function, this is just very rudimentary logic, but we're checking every single potential winning line and seeing if they are the same player. And we're doing that so that we could both return the winning player and the line. And this is called a tuple. It's just a fixed length array. So the first item is the winning player. The second item is the winning line. If there is no winning player, then we return false. So this function functions as both a guard for checking if there's a win or not, and it tells you which player won and which line was won. So in the winner and draw state, we actually have no transitions because we have a global transition over here, which is resets. And this is basically what you could do when there is a win or a draw. It will go back to the playing states, and we basically reset the initial context by just assigning to that initial context. And so just to make sure the player doesn't flip the board and screw everything up while they're playing, the resets transition is disabled in the playing state so that none of those shenanigans can happen.
Yeah, it's pretty cool seeing everything kind of boil down to these very specific states and conditions, essentially. And that's kind of the power of XState, especially being able to copy this over to the visualizer and get some.
It won't exactly work as this. I have to change a couple things, but yeah. Let me just make that real quick. But yeah, you can essentially, especially if you were doing this like in your own projects where you're using, I don't know, something like Webpack or something besides Skypack, you will be able to visualize it as is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. If you're able to get a visualization, we can edit that in. But no biggie.
Probably not.
If not, yeah, it's. Okay, well, we can move on to next one. Oops. Fix that real quick. We can talk about the React integration.
Okay, so let's talk about how to integrate XState in React. There's a hook. Actually, there are a few hooks provided by a library called XState/React. And these are the official hooks for using XState within React. However, over here, we're not using those special hooks. We're using useReducer. That's a lot of uses, but we're using useReducer directly. And the reason is because the transition function of the machine that is returned by createMachine itself is a reducer. You don't have to do anything else with it. It is a function that takes the current state, the events that was sent to it, and it gives you the next state. Also included in the machine is the initial state. And so that's basically everything you need to work with React to use reducer. And so we get both the state and the send function. In React, they call this dispatch, but it's exactly the same thing. So if you were to use useMachine from XState React, the only thing you would have to do is this. You would use machine instead, get rid of this, and you're done. But because we're using reducer, we had to do a couple other things, which honestly isn't even that bad right now. Yeah. The only difference between this and useMachine 2, which we've shown in the stream, so watch the full stream if you want to see our struggles, is that you don't get side effects built in to here. So we tried to do like after transitions and stuff like that. Those don't work because this is a pure function. And for our needs, for Tic-Tac-Toe, that's all we really need. And so, yeah, that's how to integrate that into React. Also, the state includes some handy functions or methods like matches, so that if you know that you're in a state, you could, conditionally show and hide certain bits of UI.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and so for all the events of that of the state machine, we're just sending those through with that send function, mostly on-click handlers, and you can send through the type of event and the value, so that your machine can work with all that, and yeah, that's very, very helpful.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, I think that's everything. This is a very cool setup and a nice way to pull logic together and kind of integrate things where it's not as complex as a lot of other ways to introduce all of this, and you end up with a lot of nice niceties for working with it. So yeah, thanks for walking us through all that, David.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right. Will you start the outro for us? Oh, and
sure.
How do you want to be said as the sponsor? Some fun news.
Yeah. So yeah, you can watch the full process of creating this animation live. Or not live. Let me start that one over. You can watch the full process of creating this animation for a deeper dive into each technique on the full live stream linked below. This is not live, but Actually, this is live right now, but the live stream recorded is not live.
I'm confused.
It is live when it was recorded. Anyway, leave us the comments if you have any questions, such as why did I brain farts just then?
Yes, this show was supported by our sponsors, CodePen at codepin.io, CSS Tricks at css-tricks.com, Stately at stately.ai. Is that right? Yes. Yeah. And viewers like you. That's a new sponsor there. You should definitely check out stately.ai. And you can also pledge at patreon.com/keyframers to support us and subscribe to our channel for plenty of great content. We've got links for all that available below. Well, that's all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, adios, amigos.
Adios.
Oh no. There we go. Bye.